Fantastic Four First Steps is a Marvel film. It is a standalone story that takes place in Earth 828, a sort of retro 60s utopia where 4 astronauts went into space for a mission, got hit by cosmic rays, and came back with superpowers. So the 4 of them have become celebrities. They have their own Baxter building. They have achieved world peace and got rid of all the militaries of the world. They still occasionally battle threats and supervillains. They even made peace with Mole Man. But one of the things I didn't like is the beginning of this film skips their origin for a television special. It's like a montage on a television show for ABC. And they name drop a lot of villains, but they don't show them, which I didn't like at all, because if this is an alternate Earth, it doesn't matter if you cast certain people, show them. You know, they cut out John Malkovich as the Red Ghost. Didn't like that. They name drop a couple other villains. They're not shown either, so what's the point of doing that, man? You're just teasing Fantastic Four fans. You're not giving them Easter eggs. Anyways, the main plot of this movie is that Sue Storm gets pregnant, and she hasn't been able to have a child with Reed for 2 years, and they're wondering if their baby's going to have powers or going to be a danger to them or itself. However, a herald shows up, the Silver Surfer, Shalabal. She shows up and says that your planet is doomed and going to be absorbed by Galactus. And they don't know who that is, so they follow her out there using spaceships. And this is when the movie really comes alive. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think I would. I'm a casual Fantastic Four fan. My first ever comic book I read was Civil War Fantastic Four. So, you know, I guess in a way I do know quite a bit. I watched the animated show back in like the early 2000s. So I do enjoy the Fantastic Four, and this movie definitely delivers. When they finally go into space to confront Galactus, he's filmed as a Lovecraftian entity of sorts. So he's really imposing. They finally get the real comic book version. However, he admits that he wants something in return to not spare the planet. They want their little boy. He wants the child. It's going to have amazing powers, so he wants to absorb the child or something, and they barely escape. And they get back to Earth, and they have to come up with a way to defeat Galactus before he shows up. So the rest of the movie is basically them doing amazing feats. A couple of gripes. I didn't like that Ben Grimm didn't punch anything. He does do a human cannonball into Galactus. But a lot of them don't get to use their powers too much. She only goes invisible a couple times. Reed only stretches a couple times. A lot of the characters seem to be nerfed in this film, like Galactus and Mr. Fantastic. And they're not even called by their code names either. They're more called their normal names because they're like celebrities. They don't have secret identities or code names. And also, I mean, there's a few outfit Easter eggs which I liked. And they have the Fantastic Car and Herbie and all those things. But yeah, a lot of the characters seem to be a little bit nerfed in terms of not being too comic booky. It's more grounded 60s retro sci-fi. No racism, I guess. But also, you know, there's some cool sci-fi concepts in there and some really emotional moments. I honestly really liked Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer. She has her own arc as well, which Johnny taps into. Let's talk about all the weird shit that happened before this movie even came out. Whenever they tried to talk about this film, it really seems people seem to hate Marvel films now, or just Disney films anyway. There was rumors that Johnny was going to be bisexual. There's rumors that Ben Grimm and Reed Richards are gay, or used to be, or bisexual or something, and they dated before he met Sue. There's rumors that Sue Storm was going to be the leader. They called Shalabal woke for being a female Silver Surfer. None of this stuff's in the film. None of it. Not even one thing. This is actually a really, almost feels simplified, more basic sci-fi adventure story where, you know, they don't really get to use their powers too much to fight anyone. It's mostly them coming up with problem solving. I kind of felt like it needed more action or something, like them. A montage of them fighting some villains at the beginning would be the icing on the cake. But overall, it's still really entertaining. I really like the family dynamic. They have really good chemistry. Vanessa Kirby really impressed me because I don't really like her as an actress. She pops up in action movies here and there, but she's really good in this film. Even Pedro Pascal, he's like playing it super quiet and nerdy in this movie. He's definitely playing down his charm. He's never like smug or smiling, or he's definitely a lot more muted and on purpose. He's playing like a Reed that's not too confident in social situations, but he's a genius, and I like that aspect. You know, it's different. And Johnny Storm, you know, he's still a bit of a playboy, but he's not too cocky, and he's got a great brotherly kind of vibe with Ben, and Ben has his own little thing going on too with making friends and stuff. So everyone gets their own thing to shine. You'd think that a movie would explode on its own having 4 main characters, but they managed to give you the character development for all 4, and Shalabal, and a grand space adventure. That's really entertaining, and I really enjoyed Fantastic Four, a lot more than I thought I would. So I give The First Steps a 7.5 out of 10.